Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to today's class or session. Today we'll be talking about communication process, right? And this communication process is useful for interpersonal communication, small group communication, and for public communication. Well, in order to initiate interpersonal communication, we should have at least one sender and the other one a receiver, right? And this communication process begins with the sender. Actually, sender has an idea. Idea is something that you want to share with your receiver. Your receiver can be, listener, a reader, or viewer. And being sender, you can be a speaker, you can be a writer, or you can be an artist making your paintings and all that. So sender has an idea, right? And then in the next step, sender encodes that idea. Encoding is actually giving words to your idea, or if you're a painter, then obviously sketches. So this giving words to an idea is you're actually encoding the idea. For example, right now I'm encoding in English language, और अब मैं उर्दू लैंग्वेज में उर्दू जुबान में encode कर रहा हूँ. So sender encodes the idea. After encoding the idea, sender transmits the idea. Transmitting the idea is actually sending the idea, sharing the idea, you know, with your receiver. So as soon as the idea is transmitted after encoding to the receiver, then on the part of receiver, there are these two things that a receiver or more than one receivers do. Number one, receiver decodes that idea. Decoding is actually everyone decodes the idea according to his or her understanding of the topic. There are many factors that influence decoding actually. They can be background knowledge of the topic that is being discussed. They can be, one's skills, one's cultural values, even age group and experience, they all matter, right? And it is just because of decoding that maybe 20 students sitting in a physical class, when they are being delivered the same lecture, may have different level of understanding about the topic that was discussed at the end of the session. That's because of decoding. All 20 of them uh, decode differently on the basis of their background knowledge, on the basis of their experience, their interest level, and so many other factors, right? Once the receiver has decoded the idea, the receiver has understood the idea, then the receiver gives the feedback. Well, for the feedback, it's not necessary that there should be a formal written feedback, or there should be oral feedback where you use words, you speak about the session. Quite often, if it is an interactive session, or if you are dealing with a physical setup, physical class, or physical audience, uh, their non-verbal feedback is quite often more important than their verbal feedback. For example, taking example of a class where the students are sitting in a classroom and a teacher or some other presenter delivers the session, then the students or audiences non-verbal, like their postures, the way they are sitting, the way they align their body, and their facial expressions, and their uh, like eye contact, this all communicates. This all actually is feedback to the sender, which tells the sender whether they like the idea, whether it's boring, whether they are getting the idea, or the idea is difficult to understand and comprehend. So this feedback travels back to the sender, and this is how this one cycle completes. And then the second cycle of communication starts, and then the third, and it goes on. The more cycles of interaction, or the more cycles of communication sender and receiver have, the better understanding they develop, right? They start understanding each other better. So I hope this video helps you understand communication process, and it clarifies many concepts that you maybe you didn't have clarity about before listening to this video and watching this video. So that's it for today, for this video. So take good care of yourself and people around you. Inshallah, see you in the next video. Thank you. Take care.